Good evening and welcome to another amazing show of Unstoppable Overcomers, where we have our guest, Miss Courtney Harring tonight. Welcome to the show. I'm super
Thank
excited
you for
to have
having
you
me. So
here. And
excited.
I just have to say, this lady is so amazing. We had another guest showed up, but she hurt her eye really bad. And I'm like, Courtney, can you come on? And she's like, yes. So I really appreciate you. And I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know you're a busy mom. And I thank you for being here tonight. And I just have to give a shout out to Mr. Garin. He's already in the house tonight, and Elia.
Hey,
So
Elia.
wow, I'm just so psyched, super psyched, and so this will be the end of season one, and I'm super excited. Uh, I I haven't heard your full story yet, but I know it's amazing. So I'm gonna let you have the floor, Courtney, and if you could just tell us a bit about your overcoming story, and then we'll just let go
Sure.
from there.
All right. So here we go, everyone. And again, Dorothy, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm also proud of you for doing this and being consistent. This is fantastic. I'm still working on being consistent. So I'm just proud of you. So I am Courtney Harring, and we'll just start. In 2016, I had a beautiful little baby boy in September of 2016. Everything was great. And in 10 weeks, he was still jaundiced. So, what that can mean is a lot of different things, right? So, I took him to the pediatrician, and basically, they stated that there was definitely something wrong with his liver. So before we're kind of going, I didn't know anything about liver, guys. So there's some people that say, hey, you are actually jaundice, and then therefore you have to be under the lights. That's what people will say, right? Well, no, his liver actually was not working. I'm just going to use layman's terms, okay? So with that, there's different diseases that could be coming from that. So he could have something called a biliary atresia, which means he doesn't have any bile ducts, which means that he would have to have surgery immediately in 70 days, and he was already over that, so that was an issue. So I went through a lot of different things. So during that time, I was a social worker. I was working with veterans that had TBI, so traumatic brain injury, and that was one of my most favorite jobs that I ever had. And I worked all the way up to term. My son, like I said, was born. They said that he was jaundiced, and then that's kind of where things kind of went awry. And he was my firstborn, so this was very frightening for me, and still in some instances traumatic.
Right.
So here we go, because Darrell Jr. is fantastic. So this is why the streak right here. Yeah, he gave me that. So we had to go to different specialists and liver specialists. And this child he was born September 21st. And so our first Thanksgiving was spent actually in the hospital. So we had spinal tap, bone marrow biopsy, and all of that, crazy stuff. And we had to do this basically every week was blood tests and all of these different things. And as all of you can probably understand, having a child and you don't know what's wrong, and you still don't know what's wrong even 6 months after is traumatic. Period. Right. So as we go along, it's February, and I was unable to fulfill the duties of my job because I was in and out of the hospital. And if your blood work is not okay, you have to go back, right? So it's like, you don't know when you're doing what you're doing. So I was actually fired and basically terminated in February, 9 days before my birthday. So I'm like, hey, I'm 36, 37 at that point, and I'm like, I had a job, everything was good. I waited, right? And now, oh my God, I have no job. What is happening? What is going on? And we still don't know what's going on with this child, right? We still have no
Right.
idea. So during that time, it was a dark period in my life because I had to do some soul searching. What am I here for? What is my purpose? Why is this possibly happening to me? Right? We can't really answer those things, but you go through all of that grieving process, right? Some people are showing 3 months, 6 months of their child. I'm not really doing that because I'm in and out of hospital. So I had to completely retrain and the way I was thinking, possibly, like even negatively, I would say. and I just had to completely change my life. I still love to continue to help people, as Dorothy still knows, but um, that was the time when I transformed. I transformed in the person that you see today. I'm a lot stronger. I had to go through those tough trials and tribulations to be who I am today, and it was a rough road. Being a caretaker to anyone that might have some issues or whatever is going on, it's already an issue. And then you're losing your job. It's like, really? Like, really? Really? Is this what we're doing? Right? And he's super cute.
Yeah. And I imagine you get to a point where it's just like, really, is this another thing? Right.
He's like,
And I
what?
can't imagine. I mean, I know what it's like to have parents that were ill, but to have your child, somebody that you personally brought into this world was just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, so
Yes.
worrying about your child, worrying about your job, worrying how to take care of your child, and now you have nothing. So
Right.
I like you must have felt like you were going through this deep dark hole for sure.
I was totally spiraling, going into a deep dark hole. But one thing that I figured out about myself is that I am strong. You don't really know that you're strong until you go through it. You say, oh, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. But you do not know until you don't know where you're going. I hope that makes sense. When you are unsure the next step or what you're going to do in your life, you have to continue to move forward to see what it's going to be.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like a faith walk. You basically are in God's hands and you're like, okay, I give it to you because there's nothing I can do. And it's truly one of I've been there, not with the son, but I mean, it's truly like a faith walk. I just want to go to the comments for a quick minute. We have a bunch of people pouring in here. Michael says, good evening.
Hey.
Tia, good
Yeah.
evening. Legia, welcome.
Oh, you're really good at that.
Melanie and
Hey,
Ben.
Ben.
Good friend Tim Sean.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Hey, Joe.
Joseph's in the house. Carl. Definitely frustrating, he says, at that time. And Melanie says she can't imagine, going through all that. No, you're truly welcome, Tim.
He's sweet.
Tim was my coach of mind streaming. Who knew that in May of this year it would go to this big of a show? Yeah. And here we are. Right, you don't know how strong you don't know how strong you are until all options are gone. So that is true. So tell us then. So now you're in this place. You're out of a job. You still have to take care of your son. What's next? What happened in that moment?
So what's next is, well, I've got to make some income, right? So I'm like, what am I good at? So I will tell you, I do know some things that I'm good at. So I'm good at making relationships. I used to work in crisis for a very long time, so I'm able to make relationships very quickly and efficiently. So one of the things that I did was I said, hey, what could I do if I'm working from home with a son? Right? What can I do? So it was medical billing. So I started to literally teach myself how to do that. And in my network, right, since I'm a social worker, I know all of these different doctors and LCSWs and all these people. And I'm like, hey, you need a biller, you need a biller. And a lot of them did. And they gave me that chance. So that's where my entrepreneurship started, even though I didn't realize it. So I was more of saying, okay, this is going to get me over the hump, not this is what I'm going to do.
Right. And so where did it go from there then? So you started the medical billing, and then I like how you said though, what do I know how to do? Because a lot of us that are stuck, in different situations, or they're like, well, I don't like what I'm doing now, but I don't know what to do. So starting off with what what you're good at, and then going from there. So I love that you said that. So after your medical billing,
yeah, so I
that?
taught myself and I just kept going. And obviously, I found something called LinkedIn because I'm like, oh, well, I also still need a job. But what I was doing was I was still pitching myself as someone who needed a job. But then I also still saw the need that people didn't understand their medical bills or they didn't know what was going on. And also with what was happening with my son. And just so you all know, so no one's worried, after 2 years of all the crazy, everything's fine. So
That's
it's
awesome.
basically a miracle. Only 1% or lower or less than actually get better with a liver like that. So he is a miracle. So and he'll probably do a debut in here. Who knows? Right?
I
Because
was
he's
going to say,
very much alive.
I do listen to him on some of the classes that I have attended, like the master class, and that is so amazing.
He's
That
extremely
he's
alive.
full of life, full of
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
and definitely a miracle. So that's awesome.
So I got on here as just a person trying to find a job, and then people started asking me about medical billing, so I just started doing that. But then, of course, my story is never complete, and she knows this, without Shanae Murray. So in November, I saw one of Shanae's videos, and I'm like, okay, she's not stuffy. She's not completely done up, okay? Because I'm looking crazy, right? I'm billing, nobody's seeing me, right? And she's actually putting herself out there. So I messaged her and I said, hey, basically, this is awesome. You're on video. Because I would never thought of doing something like this. And we hit it off, and we became friends from there. And then that's when everything kind of blew up. And I'll say that because both of us were in similar predicaments, and we feed off of each other very well. We complement each other very well.
Right.
So she's very creative, and then I am kind of like operations, like what's happening, how do we figure out this? And that's when other things started to bloom. So my first business was called MedSnake Media, and that was with Shanae, and we did very, very well. That was a healthcare agency, so we would do marketing as well as like medical billing, and then we just kind of went off to the races from there.
That is awesome. And so what would you think has been the highlight so far of your career, starting from scratch and now being where you are now? And like it's got to be, and you said it took you 5 years to build up to where you are now, and you were doing an amazing job. You guys are phenomenal. And I see you guys all the time, and I'm like, oh, these are amazing women.
Well, we try. We are tired. I just want everyone to know, because they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're tired." We show up, right? It's about showing up. It's about showing up. When you are tired and when you don't know. Even today, right? Somebody canceled. I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna show up for you because you asked, and that's just who I am, right? You're never too big to show up for somebody.
Well, and may I add one thing? Okay, so I just recently met Courtney not that long ago, and she must have been following my story and knew that I had just recently lost my father 3.5 months ago. Out of nowhere, I say out of nowhere, she might have planned it or God planned it, whatever. Christmas night, I think it was, or Christmas Eve night. I didn't see it right away, but she sent me a message in my messenger, LinkedIn Messenger. Hey, if you need help getting over these holidays, just give me a call. She gave me her cell phone number.
Mhm.
Give me a call or a text. And I'm just like, who is this? In this day and age, you don't find that a lot. I mean, I've made a lot of amazing friends on LinkedIn, and I have people reached out. But for you to do that, Courtney, I like it truly blessed me. And I just want to say thank you for
Absolutely.
that.
Well, this is how I run my life. Period. I'm going to do whatever I can if I know, right? So if I don't know, I can't, wish you anything or help you. But even little things are helpful. Some people don't even know when I was, down and out and I didn't have certain things like, you know, even giving you a ride somewhere, right? Or saying, hey, if you need a moment, your son is crying or whatever, can you, it's little things. And normally none of that costs
Yep,
anything. All it
exactly.
is a little bit of time, right? So I
Right.
think a lot of times, we got to remember that, because when it happens to us or something like that happens to me, I hope that people remember what I've done as well to help them, right? When I might need help. We don't know.
Yeah. I love that. And I shared a story, one of the stories, something that happened that was very significant. I'm positive for this lady that did this. But 7 years ago, my dad had renal failure, and he was having dialysis quite often, and he was in Windsor Hospital, we lived in Chatham, which is about an hour away for those of you that are not Canadians. And like I was doing that. I had lost my original job. I was cleaning houses for a friend to make ends meet, which there was no ends. I mean, I ran out of savings. And so I was driving back and forth to the hospital. My mom had pneumonia, so she couldn't come. My brother had children, so he couldn't go. And so I was the only one racing up to the hospital each night. And they were short staffed. So I even had to bathe my father, when it was called for. So I was run ragged and my savings was depleted. And I went to go park my car, and this lady comes over to me and she says, "Oh, here, honey, would you like my parking ticket? It still has time on it." Like, it cost her $2, but for a complete stranger to get out of her car to come over and give me this parking ticket, I sat there and bawled like a baby for 15 minutes before I went and saw my dad. And I was just like, I remembered that 7 years later. So you have no idea the impact that you have on people. It could be something insignificant like that, or, saying, hey, reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, here's my phone number if you need to call me. And I love that. I think that's probably why God put us together, because it's similar. We're
Yeah, and I
that's
mean
awesome
it too. Some people are unsure if I mean it. No, I mean it. If I'm going to contact you, I totally mean it. So you're probably going to hear my son.
That's okay.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm just going to go back to the comments for a quick minute. Everybody's saying hi, which I love. Jeff is great to be attending. They're saying hi to each other, which is good too. Jack Keys, good evening from the East Northport ladies. Melody's happy that your son recovered. So am I. It's great when they're full of life. Oh, thank you. So now I'm trying to, sorry, I got another. All right. So does he want to make an appearance?
Now he can't open the door. 5-year-olds. I think this is what happens to me. This is how it goes, guys. So if you want to know how is it with a 5-year-old and being an entrepreneur, this is exactly how it goes. Every Zoom meeting, every phone call, everything is interrupted.
Yeah. And that's okay, because this is live for a reason, and life happens. It's funny. I was on Carl Sean Watkins' show. It was the very first LinkedIn live show that I had been on, and I was home that day because my furnace ended in the middle of winter. It was a snowstorm. My furnace quit. I told the company, have the guy walk through the front door. I'm on a live show. Don't bug me. I was in the front room, but I told him just to come in, so they would recognize there was somebody in the house. No, he's talking to me. So I'm on Carl Sean Watkins' show. He's talking to me. I'm like, Carl, I'm really sorry. And Carl, thank goodness, had the graciousness to say, hey, this is a live show. Life happens. And we are just byproducts of that, because life does happen. Okay. And like you said, being an entrepreneur, you have, and, I think when we get frustrated with our children and stuff like that, we just have to remind ourselves, well, wait a minute,
Exactly.
what did he go through to get to this point? So we kind of, we give the kid grace.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like, I think we can handle this, right? With the knocking.
Exactly.
It's probably Optimus Prime, everyone. He got an Optimus Prime for Christmas. So it's been very interesting. But I know we got to get back on topic. So what was it?
Okay, so we were talking about entrepreneurship and how you started your medical billing, and then where you are today.
Yeah, so that's a lot. So where am I today? So I own several businesses, so I'll kind of go down the line, which I'm proud of. So one is I own something called Atlanta Telehealth, and we serve our nation's veterans. So I do own more than half of, I have the territory of more than half of the United States. I want to have the full United States. And the reason is because I believe that the veterans, our veterans are, somewhat, forgotten at times. And there's a lot of things that are happening with mental health that are not being addressed. So I wanted to be that change, and I wanted to be the place that they could come where people are welcomed, right? And any issue that they're having is going to be addressed any way that they would like it to. And I'll give you an example. One woman, she said, I want a woman nurse practitioner. Well, guess what? I didn't have one. So I told her I don't have one. But one thing that she said, she's like, oh my gosh, well, I just feel uncomfortable. And you know what I told her? I don't have one. But if anyone ever makes you feel as though you have to see somebody because this is just what we have, that's not acceptable, right? That's not real healthcare. And obviously there was some type of trauma, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to remember also, how are we treating people? They have the right to be served the way that they'd like to be served. And they've served us, right? So if they've served us, why can we not serve them? So that's just kind of like my motto, again, for everyone. It's very easy, right? It's the golden rule. So that's one thing is Atlanta Telehealth. And I serve, the nation's veterans, which I love all the time. The other thing that I do is I still have an agency where I build private practices for people, so medical practices. I'm huge on, insurance and medical health and wellness. And it's very important to me because when my son was going through what he was going through, right, he wouldn't be here today if he wasn't treated appropriately. So I want to give people that chance, but the only way I can do that is if I build them. A lot of institutions right now are broken, and that's around the world, right? It's all about certain things. We all understand that healthcare is a business, but it also can be used as a tool to help people. You can still help people and get paid, right? And treat people with dignity. So that's what I try to do, is build it, right? From the ground up. And then there is Growth Academy. And I assist running that with Shanae Murray. And what we do is we make sure that, entrepreneurs are just basically doing what they need to do to grow, gain visibility, and be the best that they can. And last but not least, I'm also creating my own courses. So I'm kind of busy, but I just, I'm doing a lot, but I'm having fun.
That's the main thing. Fun is the main thing.
I love life. I will tell you right now, I'm 41. I am loving life and it's fun. You can't always say that all the time, right?
Right.
And I think I know more of the meaning of life now. The meaning is, family, freedom, right? It really is. There's nothing really else.
I love that you said that, family and freedom. And I love the veteran thing. I'm just going to go in the comments quickly because Melanie says for you to check out Angels 14 on LinkedIn, a great group of veterans.
Yes.
And
I love my friends.
As well, I would like to introduce you to a gentleman called named Greg Bicknell. I'll connect you guys later. He is he's a retired combat veteran who has gone on and he's helping veterans with mental health. But he has his own nonprofit.
Cool.
But I think you two should connect, and I think you two could do some stuff together.
Cool.
So I'll connect you two after the show.
And I'm putting that down to Angels 14 or hashtag Angels 14.
It was Angels 14. Yep. Hashtag Angels 14.
Perfect. Thanks, Melody.
I'm just going to go back up where we left it at the comments. All this crazy stuff in life is awesome. See, we're all in this together.
We are.
All in this craziness together.
It's very simple.
Nothing too good for our veterans. Exactly. Actually, in January, we're having two veterans back to back. Jerry Barnes and Greg will be on. So, but sorry, I had to. If I don't say something right away, I forget.
Oh no, so that's we're perfect together.
Because we're busy. We're busy women. I have a full-time job. I have the show. I am also an overcomer coach, and I'm also hoping my community with the homelessness problem that we have, which is huge. So it's just like
It's crazy.
the more busy you are, the more things come into your play,
Right.
and we have great intentions to remember. But that's right. Comrade Rescue Mission is Greg's organization. Melanie connected me to Greg, but I'll connect you too.
Perfect.
I'll do a proper introduction.
Ooh.
But no, I love that. I love how you're helping everybody, and especially I don't know what it's like in the US, but here in Canada, our veterans are get left to the side, and that's not right. Like you said, they gave up their freedoms for us to have freedoms, and we should definitely be helping them.
For sure.
So definitely, I admire you for that. That's awesome. I didn't know that until tonight about you. So great.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge being an entrepreneur so far?
That's a deep one, Dorothy. Biggest challenge is there's so much to do sometimes, and sometimes you feel like it's little time. So I really had to learn how to prioritize. So my biggest thing right now is block scheduling. So I only do things in certain time periods. And then honestly, at the end of the day, whatever I didn't get done, it didn't get done. And I'm okay with it because we
Right.
cannot carry that guilt around. We did the best we could.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we do that and we hold and we're like, oh my gosh. And then the guilt carries over because, you can't do all of 24, but it's what is prioritized, and then it's block schedules for me. So the scheduling was a little difficult because you're so free as well. Because you're like, I'm not watching Netflix, but it's like, you can get caught up in like a networking room or like Clubhouse. Like, don't go into the Clubhouse hole because, you might not come out. But just little things like that, right? Or different ideas, right? Because you're not on a clock. You're like, oh, I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
And it's funny you said that because I bought a brand new, I bought a different calendar this year to keep track. I normally buy a different one, but I got one where I can block time. And I was just like, no, 2022 is going to be completely different.
And it's a no, right?
Yeah.
Some things are non-negotiable. And I do things like, I'll be honest. One thing, actually, here's what sometimes is challenging, I'll say, is that even though you have clients, right, and you have different people that you work with, and I always say working with, nobody works for you, right? And no, that doesn't happen. They work with you because they don't like that, right? I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have a team of people that worked with me and catapulted me to where I am, right? So it's not just me, right? There's other people that you might not see. And I always like to, give shout outs to people like that. So there's a Catherine McGrahan, and then there's Crystal Banda Panda, is what I call her. And they help me with my schedule, making sure I'm on time. Did I forget something? But the biggest thing about block scheduling to me is what is important to you as a person. So what's important to me is my family time. So I might not answer you on a Saturday. And don't feel like, oh my God. But no, that's my time. They deserve it too, right? Just like you. So in order for me to give you my undivided attention, my son needs to be filled, right? My partner needs to be filled, or my parents need to be fulfilled, right? So that I can give to you. So that's the only thing I would say is people need to remember, we're all still people. And sometimes
Right.
we're also going to sleep. Tired.
Well, and I think healthy boundaries are good. And like you said, to me, now more than ever,
Yeah.
I mean, my family's always been more important. Uh, but I feel that, when you lose somebody so close to you, it puts a new perspective on everything. So definitely, blocking that time out. And it's not selfish to take time out for you as well.
Right.
I used to be that person that I ran on like all 10,000 cylinders at once. And then when I hit the wall and crashed after 9 months, I slid down the wall, and then I was no good to anybody. And they're all looking at me as I'm laying on the floor, literally, well, figuratively, thinking, well, what happened to her? I'm like, because I gave to everybody but me. And it's funny, since I hit my 40s, it's just like, no,
Yeah.
fun's the issue. If I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it.
We're not
And
gonna.
if I'm not feeling fulfilled, and
Sure.
if I'm being stressed out, it's not gonna,
Mhm.
there's no sense. It's getting off my schedule. And it's funny because I did a poll on LinkedIn. It's how many people wanted more fun in their lives, and 89% of the people said they wanted more fun.
Yes.
So there is going to be something new coming in 2022.
Yes.
God hasn't revealed it yet, but
Okay.
it's something fun.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait. When he does, please text me because I want to know. It's always fun.
I will. I have a little bit of something in the works, but I need to add to it to make it spectacular.
Oh, I'm sure
You
it'll be
know.
great.
Oh,
I'm sure
I'm
it'll be
sure it
great.
will be too.
You'll put just a little bit of spice on it.
Spice, rum cheddar spice. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Okay, so
Uh,
what's the weather? What's
sorry.
the weather? What's your weather right now? What's
Oh my God! It was freezing rain. I woke up to freezing rain this morning.
okay? Okay. So I'm
What
in
about?
Rochester, so I don't know. My dad said it was going to be like 20. I always ask. There's one thing that I always ask people in Canada. What is the weather? Because I always want to know. Well, I'm 33 in flurries. How are you doing?
Oh well. See, and most not all, but a lot of Americans think that Canadians live in igloos. That we all live in igloos. But I'm
Yeah,
here to tell you, friends, that is up in the Northwest Territories,
yeah,
not here.
definitely. Yeah,
It's the same weather as. Okay, so seriously, I've talked to people that lived in Detroit, Michigan, which is literally five
that's
minutes
not
from my
far.
house.
Correct. Isn't it just
Right.
over the grid? Like,
Yeah. I live in Windsor. I'm here.
yeah,
Detroit's here. And
right.
people sometimes think that I live in a damn igloo.
No, guys.
Exactly. Okay, so it's 4 degrees
Okay. Yeah, that's about right.
and it was freezing. Now, tomorrow we're having 90% chance of snow.
Yeah.
But
We'll get what you get because you know it's going to come this way. So
that's right.
thank you. You let me know 2 days before.
There we go. It's a pleasure. So, being an entrepreneur and going through everything that you have gone through from start to finish, what would you say has been the best thing
The
of being
best
part of?
thing is that I have it's gonna be weird in a way of what I'm saying, but I've actually slowed my life down.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. So I used to work as a social worker and I love being a social worker. There's nothing wrong with that. But I didn't have a lot of time off. So when I would see my parents, it might only be like one time a year. Well, now I get to see them a lot of the time. Does that make sense? So I was able to actually stop and look at life. Like I felt like sometimes I would lose like periods of time.
Mhm.
So like even when I was in college, if there's like a movie that came out like during that time, I might not have seen it, right? Because I'm studying and I'm going like I was also running in school and doing all this stuff. It's almost like I lost a period of time. Well, I don't have that anymore. I'm present every day.
Yes. Yes.
So
I love that.
I'm present every day. I would feel like I'm almost time traveling and like you're like, wait, how did my parents get 60? Now they're 70. You know, like it was like, whoa, whoa, you know, but now it's I'm in the present.
Right. I love that. And it's funny because I have another coach, Jen Zahari, who tells me, allow, Dorothy, just allow things to happen, because I've been sewing and sewing and sewing, but my personality is hard. It's hard to let go and just allow it to come. And I'm like, now that's my new word for 2022. Allow.
That's right.
Ooh,
Right.
allow the fun.
That's gonna be
Okay.
the 22 word is start. I want everyone to just start whatever they want to do. Just start.
Ooh, I love that. Just going to go back to the comments for a minute. Jack says, all you can do is all you can do, but teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. Alex says, great conversation. Lots of nuggets of advice.
Yes, we love nuggets.
Melody, can't pour from
I
an empty
love
vessel.
that. Oh, an empty vessel. Yeah.
Alex agrees. Losing somebody puts things into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal 2022. Absolutely, Legia.
Me.
And Jack says, what gives you that impression? Oh, about the US? People think in the US that we live in igloos, because they actually have said it
Yeah,
to
some
me.
people say that actually.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I know that, guys, is because I don't know when, I mean, you'll learn something about me, but do you guys still have the 19 year drinking law? Like you can drink at 19 or no? Or did it change?
Yeah, we could drink at 19. Yeah.
Okay. So I used to go, guys, when I was 19, I used to go over the border because it's only like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So no, but no, people did ask me even like, what is it like that over there? And I'm like, the same. Same.
It's the same. Yes, because your drinking age is 21. So
Yeah.
we had all the underagers coming to
Yep.
Canada,
You sure did.
going to the
I was
casinos, doing
one.
everything, and they were laughing it up.
Yeah.
Now with COVID, that kind of
Right.
stopped, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it.
That was when I just had to have my New York State ID, guys. So I'm dating myself, but telling you it was a good time. We had a great time with
Did you ever get to go to Danny's before Danny's closed?
Yes, I did.
For those of you that don't know what Danny's is,
I
we're not
did.
telling. We're not
We're
telling.
not telling. If you don't know, then don't
That's
know.
right.
We had a
But that
great.
is yeah, me too. That's where I spent my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Friends took me, and I was never the same since.
Right. Never the same again. Yes. But it's a great time, guys. Go to Canada. It's awesome. I
Yes,
don't
come.
know. Niagara Falls, you got all, I mean, it's such a large country, and everyone also, I think, forgets that as well. There's
Yes,
the whole country.
that's right. And we don't live in igloos.
No, no. There are roads. They are
Yes,
paved.
we don't have palm trees.
No, they do not have
You have
country.
to go to Florida for that.
Yes.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. This is why, okay, so this is why I believe in divine interventions, and this is why things happen, because that is funny that I first knew what Danny's was, and B,
Yeah.
that you went.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this show.
That's why we're doing it. This is why. This is the sign.
This is right. The time is now. And it's, and it's fun because when I hit 40, it was like fun for me. And because I spent a lot of my years taking care of other people, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to say my life wasn't fun, but it was, I don't know.
I think you're finding yourself, right? Like when you're
Yeah.
taking care of others, like we all, I still think I can still do that, but also take care of me. I think we forget the balance. And especially when we're learning ourselves, I think we don't also understand maybe the threshold, right? That we need to hold and have ourselves, hold ourselves accountable to be the best we can. And I think that sometimes, when you're young, you just don't realize what's really important, but you won't until you go through it. Exactly. So like, when I say something to a 20-year-old, it's like, they got to go through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm dealing that right now with a 20-year-old nephew. He thinks he can do just rip across the border and just go live with his friends, and I'm thinking, boy.
Yeah. Or maybe SpaceX. I don't know. But
exactly.
I mean, I'm just trying to get into the metaverse. As long as the kids will let me into the metaverse when I'm 70, I would just greatly appreciate it. Just tether me to the wall, because I am hearing people are like projecting themselves into the TVs. You see that? I'll send it to you. It's pretty fun.
So I have to ask, because I love to know what people do for their self-care regimen. So what are some of the things that you like to do to keep you grounded and to keep you fun, the fun Courtney that you are?
Oh, goodness. Here we go. Well, I'm fun, but I'm also kind of boring too. Love books. Love books. Other thing that I like to do is, like I said, just be in the present. So if I'm doing something, I'm doing it. Meaning notifications are off, and I'm there to capture everything. I'm a big movie person. So COVID totally messed that up for me. COVID. And I love just to go in the theater and have popcorn and watch a movie. There's just something about it. I just love going to the movies. I mean, it could be something ridiculous, and I'm like, oh my God. So that's why I like to go to the movies.
Right. That's funny that you said that, because my husband and I took my stepson just before Christmas. It was the first time in 2 years that we were allowed to go. We went and saw Ghostbusters, and
Oh,
we were the only ones in the theater.
yeah,
Only ones.
yeah,
Only ones. And I still find it ridiculous that you pay $22 for Coke and
oh,
a
yeah.
large popcorn.
Correct. Yes,
I think that's ridiculous.
it is. It is.
And I snuck in my own water, people. You didn't
That's
check my
okay.
purse.
That's okay. That happens. Especially, when you have like the snacks, it's like, come on, I'm not paying $10 for the Sour Patch Kids
Right.
that we
Well, and
get at the gas station.
right. And so then my son had to have his own pop and his own popcorn and his
Oh
own
yeah.
treat. So,
Oh yeah.
that's another $10.
Yes, it is.
That's ridiculous
Yes, I know.
for a movie.
I know.
I'm cheap. I'm Scottish. I'm cheap. Just
No,
saying.
no, I think all of us are when it comes to the movies. I think it's a little out of control. So come on, movie people. We might have to like hashtag something cinema. Like stop.
Yes. Hashtag Silver City Cinema for me.
Please stop. Right? Goodness.
And what's your favorite book? Kind of book?
Oh my goodness. Usually motivation. But my favorite book is The Shack. Do you remember that one?
Cool. Because did you hear about our giveaway?
No.
No? Okay. All you have to do is just go to my YouTube channel, which is
Uh-huh.
Unstoppable Overcomers.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Okay.
And I'm giving away on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, I'm giving away 4 books created by you. Created,
oh my gosh, that's cool.
Created No Way Out, by Jen Sahari. Oh my
Yes.
God. This book, I couldn't put it down. Absolutely phenomenal. Coordinating the Chaos, Dr. Christie's book. If you are a new mom, or actually, I'm reading it and I'm still finding nuggets, and I have a 10-year-old stepson. So.
Oh my
God. Blessings of COVID. I have a chapter in here. Jen has a chapter in there, and Robert Moore is the editor.
Even writing. I didn't even know. Like, I don't know what.
And my book, The Overcomer: Facing Challenges with Faith and Courage. So 4 books, people, and all you have to do is free. All you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, Unstoppable Overcomers, subscribe, take a picture, put it in the comments that you did it, so I have proof that you did it, and your name could be drawn to win one of 4 books.
That's awesome.
Jack is favorite book.
Oh yeah, I do like that one too. Yep,
Yes.
that one's always on there, Jack.
Yes, I like that too. I have read it. I should change my outlook and put my bookshelves in here. I've got 2 bookshelves full. Oh, yeah. But anyway, so now comes is Kimberly ready? I know I know it's like 2 minutes early, but she's not. Her thing's not up, because we have a second part of the show, which is called The Fundamental Piece. And so we're bringing on the lovely and amazing Kimberly Genovese, and the also lovely and amazing Sylvia Edwards. Hi. And so I'm turning it over to Kimberly so she can do her part of the show.
Hi, everybody. I can't believe this is the last show of the year. It's so exciting.
No. I'm excired.
Yeah.
And this has been a phenomenal year.
Totally. And I immediately want to introduce who I'm here with in Valparaiso, Indiana. So the fundamental section is always on location, somewhere different, and on location. And we're both even though we're not in the same room, but we are in the same city, Valparaiso, Indiana. Sylvia, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm Sylvia, and I'm here on an extended holiday, which is about to come to an end mid-January. But COVID has kept me here. It was really interesting listening to you talking, and I could identify with some of the things that you were saying, and our backgrounds are pretty similar, really, because I'm coming from a psychotherapy, mental health nurse background. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it is totally a divine appointment.
it
Um,
really is. I'm just amazed.
we were in the green room, commenting back and forth, and we're like, well, we declared that this is exactly what was going to happen tonight. And we'll make sure to connect you two, because you two are just going to totally hit it off going into 2022. And Dorothy, it's almost like we wrote the script, because all you've been talking about is fun tonight. And here we are in the fundamental section of the show, which is, our intention is for this to get big and bold going into 2022. So without further ado, the whole point of this segment of the show is, and the intentionality behind it, so the faithfuls of the show are aware, obviously overcoming and being unstoppable at overcoming. Sometimes the conversations can get really rich and intense, right? And go to some dark corners. And they have many times, because Dorothy is such a phenomenal, speaker, and able to draw and pull that vulnerability out of our guests, that we wanted to make sure that we were always ending the show on a high note, and bringing the world of fun, right? To everything, because there is always that silver lining. There is that, no matter what harm may have been meant to us by humanity or situation, or whatever the case may be, there's always that silver lining. And if we're living in that moment by moment by moment, and when those darkest times come, to be able to go to your fundamentals, right? The fundamentals are, they're meant to be fun, simple, duh, that's the DUH, right? And the mind is always driving the car, the vessel, always, right? This beautiful vessel is incredible, and our minds can do crazy things behind the wheel. So if we can keep them, moving forward in a fun, easy way, we want to make sure that you give that to the audience and share what that is for you guys. So whoever wants to go first.
There we go.
Well, I think you might be a little more ready for this than she is.
So. Go ahead.
Yeah. And hey, you're not locked into this. This is in the moment.
Yeah. No, I'm going for it.
All right, good.
I totally understand. I don't want to go like way over there.
Yeah. Well, you can. We'll just pull you right back. It's not a problem. Not a problem. All right, Silva, what are your 3 fundamentals?
3 fundamentals. I think getting out and about with friends and just doing girly things. Even I'm 65 years old, and I still get excited about a night out with my girlfriends, so just having fun and things. I'm not sure I should share this, but I'm going to anyway. Going on holiday with my friends and my girlfriends, and just kind of swimming in the sea naked.
All right, that's my girl. I knew it. I knew we were going to bring it home tonight.
I wouldn't have done at 18, but at this age, I just think, what the hell?
That's right, girl.
I love her.
Right?
I know.
I told you would.
Her, whatever. I love her.
Right?
Yeah. And what would number 2 be, Miss Sylvia?
Sorry?
What's number 2 on your list?
Number two, again, I think, as you were saying before, about family and friendship, and it's just maintaining those, but having fun as you're doing that. So doing things that are exciting, spontaneous. What's something I've done recently? I think staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning with a friend and just talking and having a glass of wine or whatever, just simple things. And I think for me, the third one at the moment is the greatest source of fun for me now is being with my grandchildren and just enjoying them and enjoying the spontaneity, crawling on the floor with them, being silly and that sort of thing, because those things didn't come to me naturally. That kind of growing up, and even as a mum, the dad was the fun person, but I was the more serious one. So now it's like I have a second chance to just have fun and just be present in the moment.
Yeah. That childlike awe, wonder, and curiosity, right, Sylvia?
It is. It is. It is.
Those are beautiful. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping those three in my arsenal, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Do something your mother wouldn't let you do when you were 15.
Right? Exactly.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
what you
That's
aim
really
for.
good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh Lord, am I up?
You're up. You batter up. Batter up. Here you go.
Okay. So here we
Bring
go.
us home.
Well, what I like to do that's fun is honestly I'm watching my parents and my son interact. I'm just being present. I don't know how to explain it to you, but when you're not present for many years, it's very interesting to be here. So people will say, "Oh my gosh, my son is growing so quickly." He's not to me. Because I am like in the present. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, he is 5. I have been here the whole time. You know what I mean? I have not missed a day.
Yeah.
So that is one. I'm going to travel more this year. So we're going to go to Disney in January. So I'm going to be out of control. So I'm getting the ears, and you're all going to see me with the ears on, and they're going to be sparkly because that's the type of person I am. And that's what's happening. So
Sparkle magic.
Sparkle. Like totally. Spirit fingers. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm
Nice.
going to Disney like a crazy person. So
Beautiful.
you guys will all see.
I love it.
That is one.
Great. Yeah. Beautiful.
And then just, I want to meet people too. Like fun. It's fun doing these. It's fun meeting people, right? We might not always be able to like see you in person, like, at Zoom, StreamYard, things like that. But I love meeting different people because it gives you a different perspective in the world. Like, I mean, again, Canada, I thought it was all igloos, now I know. Right? I totally already knew that, guys. I'm just letting everyone know.
Yes. For those other ones. Yeah, you're letting them know.
Please don't do that anymore. It's a little concerning. But please stop. But yeah, just being in the present and watching people grow and traveling more and seeing people.
Because you're gonna have to come to Canada to see me.
Oh, totally. I'll totally come up there.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's easy. I can do that. The passport is girl. I think all I have to do, what I have to do, I have to just take a test. I think like 48 hours or something. And then they'll let me pass the border.
You have to do it. You have to be twice vaccinated and you have your PCR test negative.
Well, I have that. And twice. I'm already vaxxed and boosted. Baby.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, I get to meet another one that I met on LinkedIn. Okay, so I have to share something. So I met some incredible ladies this year. One of them being Kimberly, the one below me, and we're part of an amazing group on Saturday mornings, and she's also part of the show now.
Oh, cool.
So 2 of the other ladies that I had met I met these 2 ladies, and then they brought me to Kimberly. Well, I officially met them December 10th of this year. I met them via Zoom in January, and I met them in real life in December. And it was the greatest blessing, because I've been stuck here in Canada in an igloo in a shell for 2 years, Dorothy, not being able to move anything.
If you don't want them to think you're in an
igloo,
igloo.
Totally a green screen right behind you because I know that there's snow. Yeah.
I think now they know I was just being a smart butt. But anyways. But seriously, I've been stuck in hibernation because of the situation. And so to leave the country, number one, but to see some amazing, incredible people was number 2. And that was the highlight of my year. And seriously, Kimberly too, next time I will make sure I meet all of the ladies that are in that area. But you know, I had to honor my husband too, and he's just like, okay, so can we have some time to ourselves too? I'm
Right.
like, yes. 2 years stuck in the same house together. We needed to be in a different country.
Oh my god. He's like, okay,
having fun.
So you know what I always like to ask people when I haven't been able to see them, like, how tall are they? Because some people are extremely short or they're extremely tall, and I'm like, what? So I am 5'7". Okay. So how tall are you?
5. I don't know. I was 5'7" at one point, but I might have shrunk.
You're so funny. So she's 5'7". Go ahead.
Well, I was 5'7" at one point, but you know, I could have shrunk.
No.
I don't feel tall most days.
Well, some people think we're really tall. That's why I was like, because Shara Ruffin, she's 4. No, I think she's 5 feet or 4'11". And I was like, what?
I think I might be down to 5'5" by now. I think, you know, but I don't know. I'll have to go take it.
Okay, so it can't be more perfect that we're ending this
right
last show of the year laughing, like so much laughter. And really, you know, if nothing else, always bring laughter wherever you go, no matter how dark the corner is. You know, laughter will brighten up any corner that you're dealing with. And remember, it's a moment. It's just a moment. And so great. So good.
Love it.
Yeah.
So there is a question in the comments, ladies. Jack wants to know, is there a minor league baseball in where you live, Kimberly?
Not in Valparaiso. There is one in Northwest Indiana, though. It's called the Railcats or the Wildcats. I'll have to check for him. I will check for you and let you know. Do you know, Sylvia?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No.
Wildcats. I think it's the Railcats. Hold on, I'm checking. Just for him.
Well, that's funny you said that, because I told my stepson that I wanted to move back to Chatham because the traffic is a lot less than it is here in Windsor. I had got hit from behind 2 days before Christmas, and I'm like, I've had enough. I've had enough of the traffic. I had enough of everything. So he tells me, he says, Dorothy, we can't move to Chatham because they don't have an OHL team. But we have an OHL team here in Windsor, so we have to stay in Windsor. I'm just like, oh, dude. Like, you're not even old enough to be in OHL just yet. So like, we got some years, but anyways, so we can't move because they don't have an OHL team.
He's looking ahead. He's planning ahead, isn't he?
Yeah, he is planning ahead. Melanie is 4'11".
See? That's cool. I just always like to ask. There's nothing wrong with anyone's height. It's just always interesting.
That is funny that you asked. I've never been asked that before.
People ask me all the time, and I'm like, well, I'm 5'7".
Yeah, I'm 5'7" too. Yeah.
I'm 5'4".
I mean, it was just weird. I don't know why people ask me that all the time.
Yeah. I love it.
Dorothy, the answer is it is the Railcats. So yes, we have the Railcats in Northwest Indiana.
Ooh,
yes,
I love that. So, ladies,
Dorothy, would you make sure to share Sylvia's amazing company, the InspiredLifeGroup.com.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely want to check that out, everybody.
Okay. Is it life or life?
Life.
I don't want to get it wrong, you know.
And Sylvia is actually, her companies are both in North America as well as
the UK.
The UK.
Yeah.
The UK.
I gotta go across the pond to see.
Yes. She'll be heading back to the pond.
I'll be heading back.
Okay, so across. Okay, so that's where I've got to meet you, because I'm always trying.
So you'll have a place to stay in the UK.
Yeah, definitely.
There.
Yeah.
I don't like flying, but I will do it.
We'll just all go to Sylvia's house in the UK.
Yeah, why not?
Right? That's where we'll have the
Road
next
trip.
up.
You
Well, you
couldn't
never know
compare-
where you're going to find your roving reporter.
That's right.
You never
Yeah,
know.
we can see it.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
We'll have, by end of 2022, we'll have our own.
Yeah.
jet.
I've got a really big
Fundamentals
car.
jet.
That's empty. So that would work as well. Could convert
Have
it.
internet, we'll travel.
Definitely.
This has
Oh,
been
it's
an
lovely.
amazing show. Love it. Nice, cool.
Okay.
Nice, Jack.
New York.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Okay, so ladies, Sylvia and Courtney, because I want to be respectful of everybody's time here. Do you have any last words, ladies, that you would like to leave with our guests? Because this has been a crazy, phenomenal, amazing show, and what a way to end the year. I just love the laughter that we've had, and I love that Sylvia loves to swim.
Yes, that's perfect. You're the woman of the hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
You joined the crazy train along with us. I love it.
Can I say two things? I think one of the things that I try to live by is to be self-compassionate, and you talked about that before. So just being self-compassionate and kind to yourself, and I think if you can be that, you can be that to anybody else. And just have fun. Just have fun. It's so important.
Love
It
it.
really is. Do the things your mother wouldn't let you do.
Yeah, that was awesome. Do the things your mom wouldn't let you do.
There are things my mother doesn't know what I've done. So yeah.
Mom,
Which
if you're
will not be
watching,
revealed on this show.
Turn it off.
Well, fun things.
I did not go there, and I did not go over the border at night.
Yeah.
Live.
hey, you were legal when you.
I
went
mean,
across
I
the
was,
border.
but,
So hey, at least you went somewhere where you were legal. I did not do that.
21-year-old. Even when I was 21, they're like,
Yeah.
"Get out of here!" You're like, "No, I made it."
Well, that's hilarious. Speaking of things that we do that were illegal, so I was actually in the bingo halls at age 15.
You would think that was a big deal.
If
But
I
I
would've
know
got-
it's not right. Isn't it?
and if my Aunt Rebecca is watching, she's the one that brought me.
Illegal caravan.
I love that.
You're
So
good.
Courtney spent her 21st at Danny's. I love it.
Great time, guys.
Oh.
You missed it.
Just saying.
Mhm.
All right, friends. This has been another amazing episode of Unstoppable Overcomers. I just want to thank our guests because our people in the comments that are truly amazing, and thank you for showing up each week and being the support that you are. And I want to thank our amazing guests, Courtney and Sylvia. Like, you have made my night. Like, you have no idea. And so yes, so we're all getting ready for New Year's, right? So.
Yeah.
Right.
Putting the New Year's hat on, because that's the next big thing. So our next one will be after New Year's. So have a healthy and safe New Year's, everybody, so that we can be back here again next Monday night. And I don't know who the guest is, but we'll figure it out. I know I have one.
Surprise.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
And if that one doesn't turn out, there's always more fun somewhere. So, with that, everybody, have an amazing night and see you next Monday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.